It seems like we as society, or most people, we strive for peaceful, just balanced lives, a lot of stability. But it seems with a narcissist, that upsets them, that they thrive on chaos,
Mm-hmm.
drama. And if they come to that point, let's say it's a relationship and everything's going great and there's harmony and, kumbaya, we're all getting along, everything's great, that upsets them. And they have to create something. Is that true? I mean, that's kind of what I've seen and read and everything else. Is that true that they thrive on the chaos? And if so, why?
Well, so there's there's deficiencies and excesses in their trait expression that most people would take kind of for granted. Like, we're all the same, we all look the same, so we kind of all maybe think and feel the same. And with a narcissist, a truly pathological narcissist, there's abnormalities in the structure and functioning of their brain. So they don't take in sense data the way everyone else does. There are severe deficiencies or a complete lack of empathy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's also different areas in the brain that have like lower arousal. And so when things are stable and normal, it kind of it's boring to them. They don't see it as something, they can't be stimulated in the same way. So they require things that are a bit more excessive. So when they meet someone who's stable, oftentimes they feel like they're kind of bored out of their minds. And so they want to create drama. There's also just mechanisms in the way that they think and feel and believe and perceive reality that make them relate with more drama than with problem solving or collaboration. They're never in a relationship to collaborate. There's always some sort of a personal, distorted reason for being in a relationship, and it's an advantage to them but nobody else. And so well-meaning people will relate to them and think that they're having this collaborative reciprocal exchange, but it's just not being perceived that way by a narcissist. They're not looking for that. They're not looking for attachment. They're not looking for warmth. They're not looking for sharing and caring. They're really not even looking for love. They're looking for some way that this can benefit them regardless of the consequences. And so you might want to say you can say they thrive on the drama, but I think they actually just believe that is the baseline of normal functioning, is that things have to be dramatic and chaotic in order for them to be normal.
So there's an end game for them in relationships.
There's a motive, yeah, and it's a personal motive that has nothing to do with the benefit or the well-being of the relationship or the other person. So
wow,
and it can look like it can catch people off guard, but oftentimes people will settle into a relationship with a narcissist, and when they stop like sufficiently admiring the narcissist, that's when the trouble comes. It's not even necessarily that something terrible happened, like an affair, or it could just be that the narcissist is now not feeling like they are being idealized enough, so they start to create problems because of that. But they don't play fair either, so the problems just create this chaos because they're not confronting the person and saying, "Hey, I need you to tell me how great I am. You haven't said that in a while." It's more like, I'm going to go find somebody else to tell me how great I am, and then I'm going to justify that because you are neglecting me. So then they go have an affair. They justify it. Not that everyone who has an affair is a narcissist. I've learned I got to be very careful to say those things, those follow-up things. Not everyone who has an affair is a narcissist. That's not what I said. But a narcissist will use an extramarital affair to get that admiration,
yeah,
and confirmation that they're amazing and they still got it. And then they will go and bring that home and be completely content, not feeling guilty, not feeling any shame, not feeling any remorse, not beating themselves up at night when no one's looking because they're so vulnerable and weak. None of that. Just justified in what they did because they weren't getting what they felt they were entitled to. And once they get confronted with that, that's when things get really bad. Because if you just let them do and be, they're fine. It's when you confront them that things start to get bad and go south.
So when they're exposed, or when you find out that they are a narcissist, they realize that you have the knowledge that they're a narcissist. That's when things can get bad.
When they, no, not even that because they don't think narcissists don't think they're narcissistic. They don't refer to themselves as that at all. They think they're completely well balanced.
Do they realize they're screwed up? Like, do they realize they think in a whole different pattern? Like, hey, this isn't normal. This isn't good. Or do they?
So here's the problem with that is because they expect that what they're thinking, feeling, perceiving, and believing is right. No, it's not. It's not. They don't think that they're doing anything wrong or that they're wrong. And so when you tell them that, they take offense to it because they expect you to just know that they're right. So there's this expectation, and that's another thing that people don't understand about narcissists. A lot of them aren't like out to get you. I'm not defending them.
Right.
But a lot of them aren't out to get you in a vindictive and sadistic way like a psychopath. And they're not going to try to make you believe them. They already know they are the best thing in the world. If you don't, that's your problem. And oftentimes that results in getting discarded. They just expect that you know the truth, which is that they're the greatest. They don't demand it oftentimes. So it's sort of like they just don't get it. You're weird and you're kind of a moron if you don't.
You're below them.
Right. And that has to do with this trait that we call grandiosity. That is their main trait. And it's innate. It's an excessive amount of it. So it's this self-importance that's off the charts. And so if you tell a narcissist that they're off the charts, then yeah, that's going to amplify their narcissism. And so overvaluing them, overindulging in them is going to make things worse. But they already had that starting material of it being, being what it is, which is what a lot of people just don't recognize or don't know or haven't been informed of.